Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome back to another Luxy Charms. And I'm your host, charsielux. And we are continuing to celebrate LuxxMas. So, yes, I hope you are greatly enjoying this holiday season. And I am going to be sharing a story with you today. But if you couldn't tell, I did not introduce this as scary stories my father told me, due to the fact this is not a scary story. But this is indeed a story that my father did tell me back in the day. And obvious reasons, "'Twas the night before Christmas." And this was a family tradition that we would always read it around Christmas Eve or even Christmas Day. It just really depended on what day we decided we wanted to read it. What would happen is we would go to the Christmas Eve service, which was my favorite as a kid because that was the service that you got to light candles and turn off the lights and sing Christmas carols. So we would come home and have dinner, and then my parents would read to us, and "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" was usually a favorite of the house. So just wanting to help carry that merry feeling, that wonderful tradition, I wanted to share that story with you all here. Although I'm sure most of you know this story, it is as old as time. And I absolutely love this. After sharing my last episode, I want to bring this one to bring some lightheartedness, and also with the idea of cheer that I didn't share my story to bring sadness. I brought it for the fact to bring hope. Because yes, 2 years ago, I didn't have any feeling of worth or didn't feel like the Christmas spirit of any form and didn't want to celebrate the holidays, but here it is 2 years later, after doing all the hard work and therapy and everything, that I'm feeling better. So I want to share that cheer with all of you and share this cute little story with all of you. So please come gather around the fireplace with me as I share "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" by Clement Clarke Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wandering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his courses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all, as dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the courses they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." And just like all of my scary stories, I hope you enjoyed this little tale. Like I said, this is an old one. I'm sure most of you have already heard it in some which way or form. And I know that they've had little cartoons based off of this story. And one of the funniest things that I've seen come up recently was someone had made a video about the Mandela effect about this one. And one of the most interesting things was the names of the reindeer, because apparently two of them, Donner and Blitzen, and I remember them clearly as Donner and Blitzen, that apparently in some of the original stories they were Donder and Blitzum. So what versions do you remember? So just wanted to bring up that interesting fact for obvious reasons because I just read the story. And I clearly remember Donner and Blitzen, and in fact, in movies, that's usually what they're called. So I don't know if this has just changed over time or somebody misinterpreted their names through translations or what had happened. So wanted to add that little interesting fact to it. But thank you so much for joining me here on another Luxy Charms, or just joining me here in general. I am so thankful to have all of you here, and I don't care what you celebrate. I am going to say happy holidays to everyone, and I want to have positivity and just any form of goodness that we can have right now in such a hard time, because the world has been such a dark place lately, and 2024 has been such a rough year, especially for so many people. So I just want to leave it there and say Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you have a happy Christmas Eve. And definitely, whatever you celebrate, I hope you have an amazing time. And I am going to leave it at that and enjoy your holiday season.